Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jay, and I am ActionStep's VP of Global Support and Custom Success. Today, I will be delivering to you the first installment of our ongoing webinar series with the goal of being able to educate our users on the business benefits of engaging ActionStep at a deeper level. For today's session, we will take a look at custom data and its applications. If you have any questions at any point, feel free to type them into the chat bar or email support@actionstep.com once the webinar concludes. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. Custom data is simply ActionStep's mechanism for storing information against matters and contacts as per the example on screen. Today we'll focus on custom data for matters, with a separate session on participant custom data to come in future. The data that you store can take almost any form, including but not limited to numbers, dates, plain text, drop-down menus, and Boolean checkboxes. The screenshot currently being displayed gives you an idea of just how varied your options are. The key to creating a valuable custom data collection is to understand what information you consistently require for each area of law that you practice and how best to represent that data. For example, conveyancing requires information about settlement, properties, and other important information that can go into the process of transacting a property, as per the example on screen. Now that we've discussed the benefits of setting custom data up, let's take a look at how that's actually done. To do so, I'm going to switch over to an internal database that we use for testing and demonstrating features. To begin with, we'll click on Admin and then Matter Types. It's important to remember that custom data collections are tied to specific matter types. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'll be creating a new custom data collection within the general matter type. We're going to use our new data collection to track information about clients. Click on Metadata to see the current data collections available for this meta type. Then click on Create Data Collection to create your own. You'll want to give the collection a name that more or less mirrors its display title. The display title is the name that you will see for the collection within a matter, whereas the name will form the name of the merge field that you can use to pull this data into documents. Feel free to give a description to the data collection. It is entirely optional. You are able to choose between two different types of data collections, single row or multi-row. Basically, a single row data collection will only have one record of that collection per matter, whereas a multi-row collection can have many records of the same collection against a single matter. To explain this concept, it may be used for things like family law, where each field records the details of an involved family member, and you would create a separate record for each family member as they would have different information filled out against those fields. The sort order will be only relevant if you have multiple data collections for each matter type. If you do, the sort order determines how close to the left each collection sits, working in descending order. The lower the number, the closer to the left it will display. If you want related matters to share the same values within their data collections and fields, you can do so by using this toggle here. This field will allow you to expose the optional description when you access the data collection from within a matter, and applies to both the collection itself and any fields within it. Now we get to the good part. Click on Add Row to start adding data fields into this collection. Since we want to record information about clients, we'll start by adding a field to track whether or not there is a conflict of interest between the client and any other clients that have previously engaged us. We'll call this field conflict and select checkbox Boolean as the data type, which will make the data field appear as a simple checkbox within the matter. We'll also add another field to track the date of our initial consultation with the client. We'll call the field initial consult in terms of the merge field, and we'll give it a label of initial consultation date. Then we can select date as the data type, which will allow users to select the date using a date picker. This next section here will allow you to link any of the document templates set up against this specific matter type within the data collection so that you can easily generate documents from within the data collections tab in a matter. Lastly, this toggle here allows you to control the level of access each system role has in relation to the data collection. You'll be able to determine whether each role can view, edit, or delete the data contained in each of the fields. Once you're happy with your settings, it's time to create your data collection by clicking on Save. If you were wondering, new custom data collections will indeed be added to any existing matters of the same type. Now, let's jump into a matter to see what our new data collection looks like. As we can see, there's now a new tab within the matter called Client Info based on the data collection that we just created. Now we can specify whether or not there is a conflict of interest against this client and when their initial consultation date was. One of the benefits of having custom data is that you can store information easily against a matter and refer back to it in future without having to constantly open up documents and troll through them to find the information that you're looking for. So that's more or less how custom data works. Now let's take a moment to look at some of the things you can achieve by extending the use of custom data to other areas of the system. Here's an example of a document template that has been set up using merge fields created from custom data, as you can see from these fields here. All these fields that I'm currently highlighting are merge fields that have been created from custom data fields set up within the workflow for the conveyancing matter type. Because the template uses custom data merge fields, I can generate contextually accurate documents for each matter simply by ensuring that the data contained within the data collections is accurate. So let's take this matter for example. I'm going to click on the engagement custom data collection, and you'll see that some information has already been populated against this matter. So when I go to generate this document using the document template that I just showed you, it will pre-populate those fields with information from this matter. Here's what the document looks like once it has been generated. As you can see, all the important fields have now been filled out with information from the matter. And that potentially could save you an hour or so of editing the document every time you need to change the specific details of the matter. Another great application of custom data is to use it to create customized reports for you and other members of your business. Going back into the live system, here's an example of a custom list view, which I've created using conveyancing matters. This view gives you a holistic overview of what information is across the whole firm in relation to conveyancing, and is a great way to put together reports for specific practice areas that require this sort of holistic overview. As you can see, it gives me a bird's eye view of all active conveyancing matters, along with their fee estimates and whether there are any conflicts of interest and at which stage of the workflow they're all at. I can then filter this list view to find the total value of upcoming settlements and other useful insights. Let me now take you back to the presentation to answer a few commonly asked questions. Can you add any data to existing matters? Yes, as if aforementioned, you can add any data collections into existing matters and they will populate with the new collections. Can you delete data collections? Yes, and please be careful in doing so because once you do so, any historical data that were entered into those fields will be removed from the system. Can you change the name of data collections after creating them? No, because ActionStep uses those names as part of merge fields, as I showed you before in the document template area. Can you switch between single row and multi-row? Only if there are no multiple records for the specified data collection. Please remember that this webinar is only intended to serve as an introduction to the feature known as custom data. If you want a more in-depth explanation on how it works, please review some of these great articles that we've crafted for our user guide, or you can ask us to put you in touch with a consultant partner that can really help you get the most out of this feature. If you want to know more about setting up list views or document templates, stay tuned as we'll be bringing you more webinars on these topics in the not so distant future.